New feed, yeah. I wouldn't be one of my lives if something didn't go wrong. That thing that locks up all the time. I have no idea why. So like this one and view this one again, Jody. We'll get back. We'll wait till more people. I know, right, right. This happens every time, man. I hope people jump back on. I don't know why. Like when I'm talking, the screen just goes, the screen just goes blank, and I'm like sitting here trying to hit the button, and I don't know what happens. OG Garage, what's up, man? We're gonna see if more people get back on. If someone can offer me a solution on how to stop that from happening, I have no idea. I just know it happened quite a bit, Ryan. You've probably seen it before on here. Yeah, it's always something. I was thinking like maybe notification comes so they will come over. Okay. I was thinking that to Neil, man, did I forget to pay the cable bill or the Wi-Fi bill? So I guess hit the like button on this one now, and we'll just keep going. I think somebody had asked earlier a question about drug testing and policing. Man, go ahead and ask your question again if you messed up the other chat. I have no idea why that technical difficulty happened. Practice using your phone sideways. Maybe I'll try that next time. Yeah, Affinity got me. Man, those punks. Man, I appreciate you, OG. I'm gonna keep doing it. Portillo's? Is that the restaurant? I love Portillo's. If that's what you're talking about, metal makes me crazy. So I think the question that somebody had on the other one was about drug testing and police work. Let's see if some more people want to jump on. Okay, so I'll start horizontal next time. God bless you too, Joey. Let's see. Italian beef or Chicago? Oh, it got to go with the Chicago dog. Nothing better than Chicago beef dog. Tampa area. I loved it. Love down there. I love let's see. They do have good beef though. I think Portillo's actually started in Chicago. Joey, what's up, man? I appreciate you, man. Most cops do. I don't know about steroids. I know most of them drink, Ryan. I don't know. I've never seen that with all the fat boys that I've seen around here. Yeah, I said it. What would you do? How would you handle being called out to deal with First Amendment auditors? I have. And Cheyenne, is it Cheyenne? Um, you have to do it right. Like people have a right to videotape, and I've said since the beginning of my career, like why don't we act like we're on camera 24 hours a day anyway? So we're in my city, people videotape you wherever you go. We have a lot of in our neighborhoods, the cameras are out all the time. So just like do your job. Why a camera would offend anybody is just beyond my comprehension. I've never understood it. I started speaking against it, and people started. I didn't believe it was a shocking. I couldn't believe that people were surprised that I was speaking against it. I just had never been too big in the social media world on that topic, and the reception I got for speaking about it was excellent. Like First Amendment auditors, I absolutely love what they do because what it does is it immediately number one, it makes sure that you're upholding the Constitution. But number two, it's funny to me because it like exposes egotistical cops who shouldn't be. They shouldn't have a badge if you got an ego that bad. You're really that offended by a camera, and I'm so tired of OG. I'm half Mexican, half Irish, so I cannot believe that people really got that offended by a camera. And I just thought it was actually pretty funny that they were getting exposed and people were standing up and knew their rights, and I got a kick out of it. But then part of me gets pissed off because man, you cops are making us look so stupid. Like it's a camera, and a guy in broad daylight with a camera that I always hide behind. At first, I always hid behind. Well, I don't know if you're planning an attack or something because you're filming in broad day. Like every person in the in basically in the world has a camera that films stuff. And how are you threatened by that whatsoever? Shoo, is it too late to get an MFP t-shirt? I'm gonna put the link back up. Yeah, the link is down for now. They always give it in 2 week blocks, so I'll put it back up. Yeah, that's right. I rate like that's the truth. Like I never understood why a camera would be any sort of threat. Obviously, if he's sticking it right next to your eye or something. But if somebody's out on the way filming what I do as an officer, or filming in a public setting or public building, who cares? And they'll say, well, it's people, it's a privacy thing. But no, it's like it's our job as public service to, if we want something to be private, it's our job to create the privacy. So if you don't want somebody looking at through a window at something, then don't have it exposed to the window. You can't stop what someone's eyes can see. A camera is just basically someone's eyes. Yeah, and it does, Jody. It's a fact because normal people realize their rights now. And I'm not telling people to be defiant, but just know your rights. Know that, yeah, you are able to videotape officers. I actually have no problem with it whatsoever. Hold them accountable because we work for you and make sure that they're doing their job right. That's how it's supposed to be. Why is it so, Zilla? Why is it so hard for police to admit wrongdoing or apologize? It is, I would say, almost all of that is ego. If you get a prideful person, in any profession, if you're prideful and you're egotistical, you never want to admit that you're wrong, or you never want to say that, you know what, my bad. So that is a lot of it, and they're taught like officers have this mentality a lot of times where they have to exert this authority. They have to be right. Like, no, sometimes you're on a call and you can't really do much about it, and you just accept that and you walk away and go to the next one. It's your ego that keeps you there. That's a huge one. That high is it high desert. Phil from High Desert always says that it's your ego that's keeping you here, and that he's so spot on with that because it's almost like in their head they have to win. Like, dude, he's following. He's not violating any laws. It's his constitutional right to do so. Accept it. If you don't like being on camera, that's your problem. You shouldn't have been a cop. Pittsburgh, PA. What's up, man? New Zealand. That's awesome, Francis, man. Yeah, Jody, I think that's why are cops trained to never apologize. I think that's again that's a personal thing. That's an ego thing, and that's one of the, like, cops have a tendency, and then this is what I always talk out against, to take themselves too seriously. I'm afraid of my own mother, so I don't really take myself seriously. If I gotta exert authority and arrest somebody, that's what I have handcuffs for. I don't have any personal issue with people. I get threatened all the time. I get the worst things said to me all the time. I'm a professional. I'll de-escalate that, and if you got to go to jail, we'll cuff you and take you to jail and charge you. But it's not my job to demean you. It's not my job to talk bad to you. It's not my job to get you riled up or to take personal shots at you. You brush it off your shoulder. Yeah, unless you have too big of an ego, and I think that's a huge issue when you give people authority. Is they don't get their egos checked. They need to check that at the door. Yeah, that's you have to. I think you have to just be outspoken, Zilla, to train it out of them, or to just don't hire people with egos. Or right away when you walk through the door, say, "Look, you're not that special. You're hired to do a job, and you're a public servant. So lose the ego, cherish the citizens, no matter what they say. Brush it off, and just do your job peacefully, and do it right." And no, I don't work in Mayberry. I get cussed at and threatened, and we have shootings and murders, and I deal with all that stuff. A million car chases, people trying to take my head off plenty of times. It's okay. I'm a pro. That's what I signed up. That's what they pay me for, to do it and do it right. Be a professional peacemaker. What what UEDC? I'm not sure what that means. Everyday carry, as in a weapon. Let's see. Ground films towards police. Seeing all the negative videos. Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do. I appreciate that, E. Weisner. Yeah, that's another good point, Shane. The militarization of the police. I'm dead set against that. That needs to change. We are not. When you give a military mentality, what do you think? What's the first thing you think when you think of military? Um, when I was a kid, we would set up little soldiers, and what's the first thing you think is war and enemy? Well, I'm not in a war and I don't have any enemies. I'm here to be a public servant and a professional peacemaker. So when you have a military mentality, it's an issue. You're going to find an enemy. That's just human nature. So they need to swap all that or change all that, man. Andres, I like your videos. Remind me of a cool resource officer I had back in high school. Yes, that actually I am a SRO now. They when I'm not on the street in the summer, that was my first year as a SRO. It was the funnest year of my career. I love it. I love working with the kids. Yeah, Ryan, I couldn't agree with you more. Like that military thinking, I, it's an issue with me, a big issue. It's been from day one. My when I went, yeah, professional peacemakers is not something that is pushed on you very much. When I was trained like I was in Marine boot camp. We marched more than we talked about the Constitution. We got we had to get up and make our beds and drill and get our uniforms inspected way more than we were taught about how to deal peacefully with people. I mean, the priorities were just to me, it didn't make sense. So I think a lot of that needs to change. A lot of the humanization of you weren't taught to be a human, and you weren't. To me, like that's the biggest part of this job. Makes it so much easier. Salvador, man, I appreciate it, man. Now you guys are there and help will some of you. Now I see you guys were always there to help. Yeah, man, Salvador, that means a lot to me. I appreciate that. How do they fix policing? I think it boils down to just people start speaking up and leaders in the police world to start speaking up about we do need a attitude makeover and a change in the way that we've been doing things. That's my opinion. I work for Xfinity, have utility easement, right? And had a cop call me an a-hole once because I refused to unblock an alley I was working in for a person trying to drive through. I filed a complaint. Like for him to even say that, he can address an issue. But I've never called anybody a name in 19 years of my career. I've been called every name in the book. I've been told that they're gonna follow me home and do something to my family. That happens quite a bit. But I've never felt the need to like stoop to any level or call people names back. I mean, that's just childish, number one, and that's just a huge ego thing. Dude, I don't need to call anybody names or even speak bad to anybody. If he's got an issue with the way you parked, okay, well, can you move that, sir? Or if you have to issue a ticket or you got to enforce something, then do it respectfully. Um, Otherwise, just walk away. Do I have to roll the window down all the way, or can I roll it down 3 to 4 inches? Cynical zombie. That's a good question. A cop will always ask, "Can you just roll?" They will, as long as I can communicate with somebody. I'm fine with it. But there's really nothing. There's no rule other than Pennsylvania versus Mims. If that officer, this is a Supreme Court uh, ruling, Pennsylvania versus Mims, said if the officer determines that you need to get out of the car, then you have to follow that directive. Now he can. That's very subjective on his reasonings for taking you out, but in the end, he really the Supreme. You can read it yourself. The Supreme Court ruling, whether you agree with it or not, they can take anybody out of the car that they want, and that's what you run into if you start being like not rolling your window down or not communicating with them. That's a that's a point of contention that you can run into. Let's see, public is not the enemy. Yes, no, they are not. No, they are not, Ryan. Great point. Let's see, the CCL it pulled over. How best to cover that a firearm is in a vehicle? A lot of times the CCL will pop up and we'll know it before when we stop the vehicle. It's always a good idea to maybe tell the officer if you have it on you, or just like you don't really, there's really no law that says you have to, but if he asks you to present it, then you got to present that. But just be cool. Like we should be used to guns. Illinois is a CCL state now. It shouldn't surprise you. You shouldn't be like freaked out over a gun. So many people carry them, so just be cool. A lot of times, people will just offer that info. I'm a CCL. I was like, oh, well, good for you. I don't need to see your gun. I understand that from here. There is there's an element of safety that you kind of be heads up. Like you can't if it needs to be concealed. It can't be laying on the seat or anything like that. But yeah, it's a good idea to tell them just to let them know and be cool with them. Tapatios, what's up, man? I've been good. I've been good. Just so busy, man. Just so busy. SJD News. Problem is, you investigate yourself. That's one thing that needs, man. That needs to be like never. Like if there's wrongdoing, or I know it's standard for a major incident that outside jurisdiction has to do the investigation. That should always be that way. To investigate your own. That just breeds um, public distrust. The possibility for something to be sideways. And yeah, I agree with you there. That should not happen. If it's something bad happens, an outside investigation should definitely be conducted. It shouldn't be your buddies that do your investigation or look into stuff. Let's see, Josh Day. What are your thoughts on certain cities taking away lethal options and only giving officers less lethal? I think that's a bad idea simply because there's just so many guns in this country. There's no putting the cat is out of the bag and it ain't going back in. There's so many guns around. We have to have a lethal option to protect people. That's just a fact. I'm not a big gun guy, but I just know that right now I need to have one to protect against people doing this harm to other people. Let's see, Francis, how you doing? Are the laws different in each state? Or yes, the laws are different. There's laws that are the general laws that rule over everyone, but every from state to state, there's different laws that you got to learn. But when you're in that state, you got to adhere to that state's laws. Different revised statute. That is true, Tapatios, my man. Someone else. You guys hit the like button. I'm supposed to remind you of that. New Zealand, not much different, Jody. That's good to know. New Zealand is another place. I want to travel the world soon. Over here, laws are different, too lenient. Yeah, that Francis, that goes actually county to county with the leniency on crimes. Like up here, to in our perception that I'm right by the Wisconsin-Illinois border, and they always say the saying goes, if you're gonna do a crime, you better do it in Illinois, because Wisconsin's harder on crime. But it just changes from county to county, state to state. They treat things different. Am I noticing more people filming me where I'm at? Not really. They've always filmed in my city. Our blocks are really gridded, and there's people on pretty much every corner and every street on my city. There's not really too much vacant area, and I haven't really noticed too much high volume of it going up. And when they do, like I said, I've always reacted when people videotape me. I say, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Tag me. Can you tag me? I say that, it makes them laugh every time. So I get filmed quite a bit when you're out on the street, and I have no issue whatsoever. Film me. Make sure I'm doing my job right, because I'm not going to let you down. I promise. And they'll always say that. I get a lot of that too. I've heard a lot of that BS excuse that um, they could just take a portion of that video and manipulate it. Like, okay, if that's the case, then tell them that, or then stand up for truth. The truth's gonna prevail. And what can they possibly? Uh, if you're doing your job right, it shouldn't be any controversy at all. Like if they would have filmed my everyday activities, like there's nothing you can construe it. I don't violate people's rights. I don't hurt people. Tapatios, man, you're popular on here, man. I love it. I love it. Greetings, Lacey. My department uses Glock. We're all mandated now. Is a new policy. You got to have the Glock 9 millimeter Glock. Everyone carries it now. It's a training thing, so we can afford. Everyone's got uniform ammo. So that's why that was implemented. I just got mine sitting over there. I got to qualify with it because it just came into policy just came into place. Jesse Lester. Yeah, I mean, I've always said, as far as citizens carrying, I'm all for it. If you can get your CCW, CCL here, you get it in your state. I love when good guys are armed too. I have no issue with it whatsoever, and I'll give you a fist bump. Say, oh, you got your concealed carry. All right, man, my man, carry on. Get my back if I need it, man. I got yours. That's kind of the mentality you should have. Just put it this way: I got 6 daughters, and if one of them was in trouble out on the street, I would want somebody with a concealed carry that is a knows what to do and knows how to use it, and would I would think that most people would protect innocence. That's pretty much why you carry it. So I'm all for it. You see my daughter, anyone for that matter, in trouble. I want to. You know how many disasters could have been averted in this country if people had that to stop it. Literally, if you combat somebody that's on a spree or is doing something horrible, it's a fact. We call it change their channel. You take their mind off the carnage they want to create, and they're cowards in the end. If they see you coming back at them with it, it will stop it. It's happened numerous times. Francis, yeah, if they got rid of guns, yeah, that's a whole that's a whole other video discussion. It's yes, I've seen Sean's recent videos, man. I'm gonna wait to talk to him personally and find out what his thoughts on it. I talked to Sean quite a bit. He's a good dude, he's a friend of mine. Top of deals, man. Everyone loves you, man. I love you right too. Let's see. Yep, criminals would still get them, and innocent people would be sitting ducks. We have to we have to have a little sheepdog in all of us, whether you're a cop or not. And if you qualify to carry and you can protect innocence, man, that's priceless. There's nothing more valuable in life. Mr. Down is an officer in Glendale, Tapatio. So is he on here? I'm gonna see. Why is there so much retaliation towards fellow cops when reporting internal affairs? That should never exist. That's disgusting. How is that any different than a street gang? If you're gonna stick together and go after the people that's trying to do the right thing, how are you any different than a street gang? That makes me mad. You can't tell, Joel. Good question. That should never happen, and it's disgusting. I need to go away forever. Like, man, do the right thing. What separates you from a criminal if you dishonor your oath and you want to be part of some wall of silence or some blue gang or blue anything? Like, what separates you from a criminal? That's disgusting behavior. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, yo, boy, I appreciate you, man. North Carolina, my man. Let's see who else on here. Appreciate it. I always try to speak the truth, friends in code. I appreciate you, man. Truth will prevail. Yes, it will.